Welcome to Vodhalla.
Your performance to date.
I mean, that we kind of said this as we were like prepping to get on the cast. It really looked like it was a tournament for second place because yes, Java the Kingslayer was just tearing people apart, but Boomie was so far ahead of the field. We're going to see if that continues today in his first match against Lil Capped.
And here we go on to Demon Island. Not a surprise to see Boomie on Petra. Boomie's legend pool tends to differ wildly between singles and doubles, but we're seeing him playing more of the support role in the Thor, which is actually what Lil Capped is opening up here in game number 1. Boomie plays a much more aggressive character with his Petra on the orb and gauntlets, putting out the neutral sig and already doing a ton of damage to Lil Capped in game number 1.
And got the recovery? Yeah, that's it. That's a stock. That's a stock 30 seconds in.
Yeah, and talk about aggression there. Boomie just not relenting when it came to... Oh, okay. That was really scary. Okay. Lil Capped almost capitalizing on Boomie, tipping underneath the stage, hits the down but doesn't get the ground pound afterwards. And Boomie starts hitting him a ton with the orb, as we've now got Orb v Orb in game 1.
Yeah, a lot of players going into this tournament were talking about Orb's place in the meta, and they're just like, I think it's the time. I think right now Orb is an incredibly strong weapon, so of course we see Lil Capped going for Thor, so that way he keeps his trademarked hammer, but also gets that Orb in the mix.
Yeah, and now that you're talking about that, it explains a little bit of the Thor popularity we saw in the doubles yesterday. But man, Boomie is making quick work of Lil Capped. It seems like Lil Capped's yet to even figure out what to do against Boomie here in game number 1. Kicks him away once, picks up a weapon, but Boomie has taken out 2 stocks under a minute. Right there is a nice sider to finish off that stock, and Lil Capped shows a little sign of life.
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely the first heartbeat pulse of the match for him. It might be a little bit too late, but Boomie has that full stock lead. If you can get these gauntlet strings, that's going to set him up for the game 1 victory. Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. Down light and air, into the follow-ups every time. And charging for the read? All right, Boomie's actually feeling himself. I think that might have been a self-imposed just chunk the stock. He's like, I missed the combo. I deserve to lose the stock.
You think that we're that far gone?
I think I've seen him do that several times in the tournament.
You know, I didn't think about it at first, but I am pretty sure you're right. And that's so funny because the combo was utterly insane, right? He had a ground pound that punished Lil Capped going for a wake-up gravity cancel sideline on Orb and just completely destroyed him. And he had a whole full 3 seconds to punish that air dodge, and it didn't result in the stock. So you might just be right on the money with that analysis. As the cider comes through, Lil Capped has no hope in coming back. All right, Boomie. Game 1. Convincingly goes over to him, but he kept the stocks close, for the scoreboard.
Yeah, sure. We'll count that as close. Even though Boomie had the self-imposed penalty for missing his ridiculous read.
That's a great way of keeping your gameplay honest, even in the highest levels of play here in the seasonal championship, right? Just taking away your stocks as punishment for not performing. I mean, that takes some... Ooh, that takes some discipline. Boomie now going up against Lil Capped's main, the tried and true Trucker Bodvar, coming up into small brawl haven. I have seen Lil Capped be behind in multiple situations and take the game off of some well-placed side sigs, deleting stocks in deep yellow off the sides of this stage. So let's see if he's able to do the same against Boomie here with the Petra, as this game started off a lot closer than game number 1.
Yeah, I think for Lil Capped, the orb experiment might be over. Just Boomie in game 1 instantly telling him, no, pick your main, chicken.
Yeah, and not to mention that when you're fighting an Orb Ditto against Boomie, and Boomie already proved how great he was with the weapon in a previous seasonal championship, unless you've learned the weapon in and out, that's going to be a tough task for sure. Lil Capped losing that first stock, getting up in the recovery. Boomie trying to get a read with the weapon throw, and Lil Capped's close to evening up the stocks, but Boomie doesn't let him have it for free, and that sidelight D-Light's going to tack on a lot of damage and an extra credit.
Yo, let's go!
Got it right under the side stick. Boomie tried to agree to charge there a little bit.
I think he was expecting Lil Capped to maybe back up, and he wanted that extra range that level 2 charge gives you, but Lil Capped was not going to back down. Yeah. And he had to step on the gas there. I definitely respect the choice, because that's what kept him even with the stocks, and now he's actually making up that gap.
Yeah, that was a beautiful falling there into recovery. The side stick does catch Lil Capped as he tries to land, but a lot of extra damage came in on a stock where I was ready for Boomie to be a full stock ahead. So Lil Capped now getting that sidelight, puts him off stage, repositions in with the dodge in, but Boomie was able to catch him with the neutral light. Let's see if Lil Capped can even this up. It's looking much better for him than it did in game number 1.
Oh, yeah. I mean, all he needs is a solid spike, and this is small Brawlhaven. He might not even need that. The sword neutral light taking Boomie so far off the stage.
I like the choice of the recovery, catching Boomie even if it wasn't able to get the knockout. One more sword recovery would definitely do it, and all of these have been neutral wins for Lil Capped so far, and Boomie delaying it as long as possible, using the slant on the bottom of small Brawlhaven to ride up it with the gauntlet recovery, but that's the stock. Great patience and edge guarding from Lil Capped, not going off stage to risk anything and barely taking any damage.
Yeah, I mean, that was absolutely huge. If you were to look at, like, the actual heat map of damage for this one, that's where you start to see the seesaw tilt in the other direction, or at least start to even out a little bit.
Oh, Boomie really forcing Lil Capped dodges out with these side airs and neutral lights. Oh, he misses the punish. He walks right behind the neutral sync, doesn't get the stop, and loses the game. What a great, great on Boomie for capitalizing on the fact that Lil Capped missed his padded stop. I mean, back in the day, right, Lil Capped, that is Lil Capped, just being able to have such crazy high stomp accuracy, stopping, waiting, catching landings. But man, to miss it off that neutral sync, pretty big whiff, and we see at the very end there Boomie getting the classic gauntlet string of the D-Light chase dodge nair recovery off the top of the stage, getting that 2-0 lead and 1 game away from getting into winner's quarters to fight against Cody Travis.
Boomie grabbing the first weapon in game number 3. Lil Capped short to follow. Let's see, there's none of that massive explosive damage build that we saw at the beginning of some of the other games, so Lil Capped definitely starting to, every time he gets juggled up on this map especially, I get so nervous.
Yeah, there was a cool mix-up there just now when Boomie went for the side sig on Orb. I remember before you were saying he was expecting the dash back from Lil Capped, right? So he was going to go for the charge, get the extra range. This time Boomie released it right away, and Lil Capped appropriately dashed back to dodge it. So it's just interesting seeing those little nuances of gameplay, right? Where, who's going to read what? But Boomie was able to get that side air and take off the stock from Lil Capped, and Lil Capped's barely put on any damage onto Boomie. Let's see what he's able to do with a sword. Yeah, picks up the sword, immediately neutralites. Down air, comes through, but Boomie starts striking back.
Ooh, jockeying for position. Boomie couldn't get over. You see Lil Capped, he gravity canceled that side light just to give him a little extra ups on that sword side light.
Ooh, down air misses, Lil Capped punishes. Lil Capped still needs the stock. He's trying to scoop Boomie, get him off the top of the stage. But he can't quite get the down air to hit. That's it. Nicely done.
But now he certainly has his work cut out for him because he's in the orange, and Petra's a high force legend. On a map like Small Brawlhaven, any of these signatures could be knocking out already.
Yeah, Boomie does a really killer maneuver where when his opponents are recovering high, oh wow, that down air was beautiful. When his opponents are recovering high, he will dodge through them and then pivot side air. And with the like you said, the high force on Petra and the direction that the orb side air sends people, he can get some really early knockouts that way. And he almost did it to Lil Capped in game 2. Oh, that dodge down was so brilliant. Dodge down, faked a jump, got the neutral light, another neutral light, down light, nair, doesn't get the down air afterwards, but Boomie is just hitting him all over the place. 2 side sigs in a row. Oh my, it's non-stop.
Yeah, Boomie is just rate of action is just increasing and increasing. He feels Lil Capped back on the back foot, and he's just not letting up. That's a 3-0 victory. Boomie moving on to the top 8 qualifiers.
Just impeccable gameplay from Boomie, and at the very end, he did something that surprised both me and Lil Capped, where it looked like he had exhausted all of his recovery options, but then he had the actual orb recovery left over, even after all of his jumps and dodge were gone. Caught Lil Capped off guard with it. I think we're going to see it here. Perhaps. Yeah, so he comes back, and then recovery comes at the very last second, lands with the neutral sig, gets him at the very tail end of it, takes the stock.